My name is Helen Carr. I was here Labor Day weekend of 2009. I had been diagnosed with osteoarthritis in my hip. Gone to the doctor because actually I had knee pain. And they x-rayed my knee. They said my knee was fine. Took me back, x-rayed my hip. Came back and looked me in the face and said, well, you're going to have your hip replaced. And I was like, well, is there something we can do in between? You know, and he was like, no, you're just going to have it replaced. Well, he finally gave me some anti-inflammatories, and you're supposed to take them once a day. I was taking like 5 of them because I was in a lot of pain every single day. And it was making my heart like palpitate and tearing up my stomach, of course. We came up here Labor Day weekend with my niece, who is a massage therapist. And by the time we got to Building 5 here, my knee was killing me. I was just wait until I could get to the end of the building so I could get out of here, because it was just felt like somebody had taken a knife and stuck it in my knee. And as I walked by, I heard him saying, "Are you in pain? Anybody who's in pain?" And I kind of walked by because don't usually really respond to stuff, but then I turned around and something just told me to turn around. And I turned around and I looked at him, and he looked at me and he said, "Are you in pain?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he told me, "Come and sit down." I did. He's like, "What's hurting you?" My knee. Rolled up my pant leg, put some on my knee, sat there for a couple of minutes, and my niece looked at me and said, "Well, how does it feel?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm sitting right now, so it's not hurting." So I got up and walked up and down the aisles for like 10 minutes. And came back and sat back down, and my niece Ray looked at me and she said, "So," she did the doctor thing, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your pain before? And I said, "Well, I would say it's like an 8. And she's like, "What is it now?" And I said, "Well, I would say like a 2, maybe, because it's almost like a memory of a pain. It's like I'm almost afraid to say it's not hurting." And she was like, "Wow." So she put some on her neck, which she has kind of a chronic stiff neck, probably from doing the massage therapy. And she was doing this with her neck. And it was like, okay. So I bought a jar, she bought a jar. I put it on my leg every day. I brought my girlfriend up here who has, again, a chronic stiff neck. She gets where she cannot even move her head. Last month I asked her, I said, "Well, how's your neck been?" And she kind of looked at me kind of funny, and she's like, "I haven't even been thinking about it, because every time it starts to hurt, she puts the cream on it. It stops hurting, and she doesn't think anything more about it." And that's pretty much, my leg was the point where that's the only thing I thought about, because it hurt. It was just constant, chronic pain, and just crazy. And now I get out of the hot shower, and I will say for anybody, as soon as you get out of the hot shower in the morning, put that on there while all those capillaries and everything is open, because it seems like if you do that, that's it for the day. You're fine. I mean, you may feel a twinge if you twist the wrong way, but I can now walk without limping, noticeably limping.
What happened to your shoulder with the dog you told me?
Well, I had adopted this dog, 65-pound dog, had never been disciplined, crazy dog. In order to get him accustomed to me, I had him leashed to my right arm, and one of the problems that he had was he was prey driven. I have a cat, and the cat moved. I was starting to get up out of a chair. He saw the cat move. He bolted and dragged me, pulled me off my chair. I landed on my right side, being dragged across the floor like that, and I just laid there because I wasn't sure what damage he had done. But I've been putting that on my shoulder, and I now can, and I don't have pain when I do that. I mean, you maybe could do that and have pain, but I don't have pain when I do that. And it was to the point where when I would make coffee at work, I would have to hold my hand like this in order to pour the water in the coffee maker.
Right.
And of course now I don't have, but I was like holding my arm and going, okay, and pouring, because I could not lift weight with this and it hurt really bad. And now it's fine.
Hey, thank you very much for your time, okay?